Hi everyone. I'm going to be doing a video, a sort of review video of bright coloured hair dyes and the different companies and the different colours I've used. I've used 4 different companies and a few different colours, and I'll show you some pictures of how they turned out and tell you, how to use them and how long they lasted and things like that, so you don't have to try it for yourself. So I've used Manic Panic, Stargazer, Directions and Crazy Colour. So I've used 4 different brands. Sadly I haven't used special effects because it's harder to get in the UK and it's fairly expensive. I think it's about £10 a bottle, and then you've got to pay for postage and things because you can't get it in any shops. So £10 a bottle, I don't really want to spend that much money, and it's quite hard to get hold of. So I'll go through now the different companies I've used and the colours. The first company I ever used was Manic Panic. I'm sorry this is backwards, but I'm on my brother's laptop and I don't know how to change the camera. Yeah, Manic Panic was the first company I ever tried, but I think it was just over a year ago that I first used them. And the first ever bright hair colour I used was called Vampire Red, and it was a really nice rich red with sort of a blue undertone, quite purpley red, and I'll have a picture here. Yeah, I really like that colour. I wore it for my year 13 prom and I really liked it. I think it lasted about 4 weeks, and when it faded into a lighter red and then into a quite a nice bright orange. So that was great and I loved that colour. The only problem with Manic Panic is even though it's a conditioning cream, it wasn't as conditioning as I found some other different ones. Directions, which I'll get onto later, I find more conditioning. But Vampire Red by Manic Panic was great. I love that. Before I go anywhere else, how you get your hair to show up the colour is by bleaching it. And I use E-Blonde. This is cream peroxide and then a powder bleach. And you mix them together and then it'll bleach your hair out. And that makes the bright colours stand out more. The next colour I used was Manic Panic again, and it was this one, which is Pillar Box Red, and I've still got a pot left, and this is what it looks like. But that was a very red, very bright red, as it, Pillar Box Red, and it glowed under UV light, and I'll show you a picture now. Didn't like this colour as much as Vampire Red, and it faded really fast. It was a nice colour. It faded to a nice bright orange, but I didn't like it as much as the Vampire Red. So if you want a longer lasting red, I'd go for Vampire Red by Manic Panic. I used to get my Manic Panic because you can't get it in any shops in the UK that I know of. I used to get it from a website called beunique.co.uk. I'll put a link in the underbar, and it's great. It has, if you're looking for a bright hair colour, I suggest you go to this website. And it also has a photo gallery of people sending their photos, so you can see how it'll turn out. I put a few of my photos on it, so you can select a colour and then see all the different hair dyes and the colours. So it's a great website, and you can also buy special effects, Manic Panic, Stargazer, directions and crazy colour on it, and lots of other things, but that's great. So I liked Vampire Red and I didn't like Pillowbox Red. But Manic Panic, good, but it costs about £8–9 a tub. Fairly expensive, so I've stopped using it, but I've got this one left and I don't know what to do with it, because I don't really want to dye my hair red anymore, because everyone seems to be doing it these days. The next company I used was Crazy Colour. I don't have any to show you, but I'll put a picture up now. I used, if I can remember rightly, a red colour. I can't remember if it was called Rouge or something like that. Yeah, it was called Rouge. And I used violet as well. And I think I put some streaks of violet around the back, and then the rouge everywhere else. Really, 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 really didn't like it. The purple came out crap. The violet didn't look very nice. It was really faded, even though I put it on, bleached hair. It wasn't very bright, and the red, which looked as if it's supposed to be really, 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 really bright red like that, turned out a dark orange. I mean, I've nothing against having orange hair, but I wanted red hair. I'll show you a picture of how it turned out anyway. And that faded really, really, really quickly, so I don't like Crazy Colour. Next, and then I went back to Manic Panic after that, so I used Pillowbox Red, and again, it was better than the Crazy Colour, but